So I just got done watching TJ Doheny versus Nick Ball. I watched it about 3, 4 times now. Um, let's email Inoue his fifth division world title. Let's go ahead and email him the WBA title because this fight, I don't see it being too intriguing, right? Nick Ball is he's a great fighter, right? He could arguably be a unified champion. Arguably beat Ray Vargas in 2023 for his WBC world title, and then he beat Raymond Ford last year at the 5v5 for his WBA world title. So he's a great fighter, right? And now he's went on to defend that title twice since June now. So he's active, he's great, he's young. But when I watch Nick Ball and I'm comparing him to a guy like Inoue in a way, there's no X factor. And what do you mean by that, Jerry? What do you mean there's no X factor? There's nothing he does that cannot be trained. Everything he does, you could train for, right? When I'm talking about X factor, I'm talking about Inoue Inoue's power, his speed. You can't train his power, speed. That's talent. That's God given. Nick Ball, I'm looking at him. Great pressure boxer. Great shot selection. A bit of pop behind his shots. But everything I'm looking at, you could train for. You could train for. You could bring some guys in the gym to help you work on that. You can hone in and really focus on those type of strengths and issues, problems that Nick Ball is going to bring inside the ring, right? When we're talking about really great fighters like Noya, Terrence Crawford, Alexander, Canelo Alvarez, even Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, they have things, they have what I like to call an X factor. Things you cannot train or prepare for. Beterbiev's power, the only thing you could do, Bivol could do, is bring in a heavyweight, but what about Beterbiev's speed? He's still pretty fast compared to a guy that's at 200 plus pounds. So that's what I'm seeing with Nick Ball. Really great fighter. Maybe the best in that division, right? I wouldn't say the best, but maybe one of the best, right? He's a top 4 guy. He's earned the respect of the fans, right? He sits at the throne at 126, the featherweight division, and he's going to be the first guy to tackle the task of trying to slay the monster, right, before he unleashes his wrath on the rest of that division. So it's going to give us a great gauge of where Noya will be at in that division. Maybe not necessarily be at, but how much his previous abilities, technique, and so on and so forth is going to translate up those extra 4 pounds. So it is going to give us a really good gauge about that. I don't think it'll tell us really where he's at. I don't think knocking out Nick Ball will give us a gauge on how he'll do against Rafael Espinoza, just because the style clash, the difference in height. It's a 12-inch difference in height between those two. But I think it's going to be a relatively easy fight. I think Inoue Inoue is going to punch his ticket into becoming a 5th division world champion that night. I don't see the fight being too competitive. I mean, Nick Ball doesn't have blazing speed. He doesn't have tremendous counterpunching. He's a pressure boxer who has pop. Doesn't have power. Has pop. He has enough to sit you down. He has enough to cut you up, to bruise you, but he doesn't have enough to hit you on the jaw and say, I probably don't want to get hit by that one again. And that's going to be an issue, right? When we see guys who cannot gain the respect of Inoue in a way, it could be very troublesome. We've seen that with Fulton. We've seen that with Marlon Tapales. Even Luis Neri, even after Neri dropped him, he had no respect for him. He showboated, styled on him, So, like I said, I can't stress enough, Nick Ball's a great fighter, amazing fighter. One of the best at 26. He's beat one of the best guys who now fight at 130. Right, like I said, the draw with Ray Vargas, which I thought he possibly won. It could be a unified champion right now, but just he's gonna come up short. No pun intended. He's gonna come up really short in that bout. It's gonna be interesting to see if this bout takes place, and I'm assuming Saudi Arabia. It's gonna be really interesting to see Inoue fight in Saudi, but I want to know what's next for him after Nick Ball. That's always kind of been the case with the monster. He's always been a bit of a step ahead. We're always asking, what's next after that? What's next after that? So I hate to be that guy. I hate to sound like one of those greedy fans, but I'm already looking past Nick Ball. I know he's not, but I am. I want to know what is next after Nick Ball. You guys let me know. How do y'all feel about that potential matchup?